Hey everyone, I'm Kevin with Victory 4x4. In this video, we're going to be installing our rear pet divider in the back of our Lexus GX460. So to start things off, I just want to give you a quick overview of the product in terms of what parts you're going to receive. You're going to get 2 of the side MOLLE mounting brackets, of course. Then the main MOLLE panel section is going to consist of 3 parts. A center section with the logo cut out there in the bottom, and then the 2 outer sides. And then of course you're also going to receive a hardware pack along with it. Now, depending on if you have a little bit of help or if you're doing this by yourself, the way you install it is going to vary just a little bit. But basically what you're going to do is install the outer mounting brackets, which we'll show you in just a second, into the vehicle on the MOLLE panels. Of course, if you don't have your MOLLE panels installed yet and you're doing this all at the same time, you'll need to check out that product page and the respective video to get those installed. And then you can either assemble these 3 sections together and install it as a whole unit into the vehicle. Preferably you'll want 1 extra set of hands for this, just to kind of support one side while you get the other started. I'm going to do this by myself today, so we'll kind of start each outer section on the mounting brackets in there and then install the center panel. So just as kind of a overview or a reference here, while we are still out of the vehicle on our cart, I just want to show you the way these 2 panels overlap. So basically you can see these lower mounting flanges here, very similar up at the top, and then you're going to have slots in the outer panel, holes here in the center panel. These are simply going to slide into place like this, with the outer panel flange underneath the center panel flange, and then it's just a matter of lining up those slots and holes and getting your hardware started in those locations. So the outer mounting brackets are going to bolt into this first row of round holes here in the panel using the slots at the rear of the bracket. Now you can kind of see the orientation here. You want to pay attention to these flanges and make sure they're facing in so you have something to bolt the actual pet divider to. And then once you line these up vertically on the MOLLE holes here, you'll grab one of your 1/4 button head bolts from your bolt pack along with a serrated flange nut to go here on the back side. You're only going to have 1 length of these bolts and 1 size nut in your bolt pack, so that should be pretty easy and straightforward there. Now again, if you're installing this with a friend and you have an extra set of hands, it may be okay to leave this stuff just a little bit loose for compliance, and then you can both kind of help get it aligned as you're installing the main panel. I'm just going to lightly snug these in the center of these slots for now, and then I'll loosen them back up as needed for any minor adjustments during the final assembly and installation. And then you can repeat that same process to get your remaining bracket installed over on the other side. So this kind of radius cut outer edge of the panel is going to go out toward the MOLLE panel mounting bracket. You just want to pay attention to the lower flange down here and make sure that this bent flange is facing forward toward the front of the vehicle. And then you can line up your mounting holes with the slots in the bracket and install more of those 1/4 button heads and serrated nuts. Now this mounting hardware I am going to leave just a little bit loose so we have this little bit of vertical compliance as we're getting the center panel installed, and then you can follow that same step over on the other side to get the other outer panel installed. So then we can grab our center panel, and with the 2 outer panels in, you can kind of just carefully rest it on the flanges here and begin lining up your holes and slots here along the edges of each panel. And then we'll just start installing more of our button head hardware. Once you have all your bolts started, you can then grab a 5/32 hex and begin to tighten things up. We're going to start with all the hardware holding the panel sections themselves together. So now we'll move out here where the pet divider meets the outer mounting bracket and tighten these 4 vertical bolts. Now in this location, you can choose to run these 4 the opposite direction for the easiest access to the hardware and simply come in through that back door and tighten them up. We chose to run them this way just because we think it gives the best visual appearance. However, it does make things a little bit more tight down at this angle to gain access to those and get them tight. It should be fairly simple if you just have a little socket swivel like I have here and a 5/32 hex driver. Then all I'm going to do in this location is I'm going to kind of lift this up, making sure it's not too close here where it's going to interfere with the headliner, but keeps that gap nice and tight. We'll do the same thing on the other side just to even out those gaps, and then start tightening these in place. And then lastly, we'll come back, if you haven't done so already, and tighten up the 4 mounting bolts here for the bracket to the MOLLE panel. So after you have all that hardware tight, your installation is complete. Now if you guys have any questions about this install or anything else we offer here at Victory 4x4, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can always email us at info@victory4x4.com or just give us a call at 269-459-8447.